Roy, this is your third time standing in Stanford, East and Corringham Town. Out and about in the door, how's things going?
Well, so far we've had a very, very good response. Definitely better than the 2 times before. In fact, people are coming up to you now and they want to talk. And they want to talk about local things. You know, it's all very well, some of these politicians and councillors, they're talking about stuff that's, you know, they want to talk about local stuff, you know, and yeah, we've had a very, very good response.
Totally. So give us an example of a local issue that people want to speak about.
Work. Most people, especially their children, their youngsters, they're worried about their work. You know, what you hear all this, you know, I had a councillor the other day and he's saying about this, core that. Let's talk, you know, normal language here. There's a lot of investment in this borough. And the way they go on, they talk about it's like they've created this investment. And I'm not saying that they haven't had an input in this, but this investment comes into this borough because of the people in this borough. You know, and we've got some good people in this borough, and its location. What I would like to see is this feel-good factor come back. So you can see all this investment coming in this borough, and there's a tremendous amount of work that's going to be supposed to be coming up, DP World and such like, and this port at Tilbury, they've got the distribution centre. Let's have local people given the jobs first. Now what I mean by that, we keep on hearing about, well, local people have got the jobs, but no, what's happening in a lot of the cases is that people are being moved in for the jobs. Then they become local people. My idea is that there's a lot of unemployment in this area, yeah? And they keep on saying the figures have gone down. Now, I used to run my own business and I folded up possibly about 18 months ago, or part folded it up. So I've had a good piece out there of seeing what's actually happening. There's loads of 0 hours work. Agency work's a lot of it, you know? The minimum wage, you know? So if there's so much investment, let's kind of like share it for the people of the borough. Give them decent jobs with decent wages. Let's have this feel-good factor come back to Thurrock, as it used to be of years ago when Shell was going, Mobil, you know, this was one of the top 6 industrial areas in the country at any one time, going back years ago. And yeah, it had a lull in the likes of Tunnel Cement and Blue Circle and all that all went, but you know, now we're coming up again, and so let's have it good for the people. And there was, you know, going back all them years ago, it was a feel-good factor. People, there was good jobs, there were secure jobs. And that's the other thing, you know, give these youngsters something with a bit of security. You know, people run down youngsters so much nowadays. They're saying they can't be bothered, they're lazy and things like that. I play in a band and I have a lot to do with youngsters. You know, they come along and watch the band. I play 60s and 70s rock and roll. And, you know, it's amazing because I can be playing and they're looking at and I'm thinking, well, probably we're not going to go down too well here. But we do, because their parents playing this stuff and now they're seeing a band play live. But what I'm saying, the feedback from youngsters is good. So yeah, they're not all lazy, they're not all just want to be on the unemployment thing. They want to get out there. It's giving them a chance. And we've got the chance of doing that with all this investment that's coming into the borough. So that's what I would like to see. Let's share it about for the people.
So you're saying that the people of Stanford and Corringham feel a bit, at the moment, regarding things like DP World, as you mentioned, they feel a bit, it's a disconnection with what's going on.
Well, you know, Clive Broad and myself, we was the first political party to go down DP World when its construction was going on. And basically, I'd been working down there. I had a couple of crane lorries, and I could see that at the time there was just under 1,000 people on site on the construction. And I put it to them, I said, well, you know, you advocate all the benefits that we're going to get in the borough for all this work, you know, this industry that you're setting up. But there's, at the moment, there's loads of foreign labour on site. When I know for a fact, I know people that can drive a digger a 360. I know people that not got regular work with these machines, you know. And they said at the time, and possibly they've got a good point, they said we can't design the contractor telling him who to take on. And I partially understand that. But I said, you can have a input into it, surely. That it would be nice to be using local labour, especially as there's a lot of people unemployed. And at the time, we was going through that recession period, if you remember rightly, when basically, because at one time they wasn't going to build it, and then the money wasn't there, then it was there, But now it seems to have been that we hear stories that they've got a lot of foreign labour actually working at the port, or people that's come in to work at the port who are now classed as local labour. Now, I'm not saying there shouldn't be a share of that, but let's share it out amongst thorough people first, surely.
But Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal, West Ham all have foreign labour. Isn't that, and if they're from the EU, that's the freedom of movement. Is that the crux of the problem you're saying?
Don't start me off in football, especially. If you want to use football as a term, let's be honest. We've had this before years ago when you had foreign labour, foreign players coming over, and when it was designed years ago, there used to be a limited number, if you like, in each squad. So you can relate it to, if you like, labour in the country. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have foreign labour come over here. Them people that's needed, the work that's needed for them, and they're skilled and qualified for it. But there's a lot of jobs that's going to foreign labour that they're not skilled for. I've had it. I've worked on sites, construction sites, so I've seen loads and loads of this. It's not always, it's cheap labour, isn't it? There's been a lot of it. You go on these sites, it's cheap labour, and you think, well, that can't be right,
Coming back to the role of standing for council, if you won, would you be the type of councillor who would go, oh my God, I've won? Would you actually be interested in sitting, in a health and wellbeing committee on a rainy Tuesday night in February, a planning committee on a Thursday? Would you do that?
If I put myself to do this, people say to me, Roy, if you knew my friends, they say, why on earth are you doing this? I've got loads of things that keep me occupied. But I'm passionate about standing. What's happened at the moment with this country, we've given this country away. I love history, and as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the greatest countries in the world, but we've given it away slowly. It's been ebbed away. So I've gone into this, and if whatever I do 110%. So if I've got to go on a rainy night with an umbrella to a council meeting, I will be there.
Roy Jones, thank you very much.